Are you a first-time investor thinking about investing for the first time, but don't know where to start? I've got you covered. In this video, we are going to walk through how to read a stock chart. I will show you the information presented for Target Corporation, a mutual fund, as well as a Target Retirement Fund. So you can see what they present to you and know exactly what you're investing in. Thanks for tuning in to Sisters for Financial Independence. My name is Catherine Agabjan, and here at Sisters for Fi, I cover topics related to money, motherhood, and everything else in between. By the end of this video, you'll feel confident understanding the basics of investing and choosing the right investment for your financial goals. For this video, I am using Yahoo Finance to share with you all of this investing information. Now we are in the age of information, so there's going to be many websites and apps that you can use to find your investing information. Find one that works for you, find one that you can access easily, so you are more likely to use it. Let's jump into our first stock chart of this video, and we are going to review the chart of a stock. We will also review one for a mutual fund as well as for a target date fund. I just want you to see the difference in the information that's presented for those kinds of investments. Now, for this example, we are choosing the Target Corporation, ticker symbol TGT. And in this view, you will see its close price at $130.72. So at the end of the day, this is the last price that it closed at. And you see the chart here. If you click on all, you will see its prices from when it was started trading up until today. And you will see its trend line going up for a certain period of time and maybe down a little bit. Further down, you'll see other information. Previous close, the last day. What did it close at? What price? What did it open at this morning? And if this was during the day, you'd see the bid and ask, which is what people are willing to pay for a target stock during the day. This is the day's range. So between 127 to 131 is what target stock was sold at. And then this is also your 52-week range. So the stock price was between 120 to $181 within the last 52 weeks. So at one point it was high at 181. This is your daily volume. So how much shares were traded in one day. The average volume is around 5 million shares. So if you look at this, the volume right now is pretty heavy. A lot of people are coming in trading Target, maybe because I'm recording this during the holiday season, maybe because Black Friday just finished. So a lot of people are wondering if this stock has been good. So there's a lot of activity with that. Next is your market cap information, and it tells you the size of the company, and the number is based on the number of shares on the stock market multiplied by its current share price. You'll also see your beta, which tells you whether the stock is volatile or not. Anything greater than 1 indicates the volatility. Anything below 1 indicates not so volatile. So you want to be closer to the 1 beta mark. Your PE ratio is your price to earnings ratio, which some investors may use to decide if a stock is undervalued, overvalued, or fairly valued. And then you also have your date for your earnings date. So this just passed. So November 20th, they had a call and mentioned how Target was doing. And you can keep an eye out on that if you are a Target investor or are looking to invest in Target and want to learn more about its prospects as a company. You'll also see your forward dividend and yield. So Target does pay a dividend. So this is what you would be getting. I believe this might be a quarterly dividend, but don't quote me for Target. The ex-dividend date is the date in which you must have held Target stock in order to get the dividends. Okay, from here, let's also just expand an overview of Target. Say, for example, you were researching a company and you did not know what they sell, what type of services they offer. If you expand on the company overview, you can get a quick overview of the company. And in this case, Target is a general merchandiser retailer in the US. They offer apparel, a couple kinds of things. For Target, they are part of the the sector of consumer defensive, and part of the industry for discount stores. You can click on these links to see similar companies in that industry. So in this case, for discount stores, if we scroll a little bit further down, we'll see Walmart, Costco, Dollar General, Dollar Tree, BJ's are in this similar industry as Target. Now let's head to the financial section of Target. Now, all of this information is information that is publicly available that Target has shared with everyone. And this information is just compiled and presented to you in this manner. So if you are looking to see its total revenue, what they're making on a quarterly basis, it's available here. Its profit, its pre-tax income, all of the things that you would expect the company report on. So have those available for you if you're looking to see if it's a company that's doing well. Do they have cash flow coming in? Is their balance sheet good? You'd want to look at the financials tab to see how they are doing. Of course, I'm not going to get into this. It's a little advanced, but for a beginner investor, you just want to get a sense of some of the lingo, some of the words that they're using to describe Target Corporation. Now let's navigate to the Holders tab. And this tab tells us who holds majority of Target stock. And you will notice that 85% is held by institutions. And if you scroll a little bit further, you will also see its top institutional holders. And the first one in that group is Vanguard Group, which means Vanguard as an institution holds majority of Target stock. If we scroll further down, we will see which mutual fund holds Target the most. You will see Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund. This index fund holds over 500 stocks of companies. So if you don't want to invest in Target specifically, but want Target and other companies, this could be your best bet since it will be a diversified portfolio. We will dive into how to read the index fund and mutual fund chart in a bit. And you also see the other ones here. If you're at Vanguard, American, Fidelity, and so forth. So all of these funds have Target within their portfolio of stocks. And the last area I will point to is the sustainability tab. And in this tab, you will see some information regarding Target in terms of environment, social, and governance risk rating. So if you are someone who is looking to invest more in sustainable companies and companies that are taking the environment into their planning, their business practices, this can inform you of what this company is doing. This video is part of our Investing 101 series, specifically for first generation moms. Now, if you are like me, I don't have the luxury of old money to get me through my old age. As a woman and a mom, I have to invest so that I have financial security for myself as well as for my family. You can check out the full playlist of our Investing 101 series here as well as in the description. So now let's jump into the information presented for a mutual fund. In this case, it's the Vanguard Total Stock Market. It's the Admiral Fund called ticker symbol VT, and it closed at around $146.21. You will see similar information to the stock chart that we see. You can change your chart to see its progress again, as far as trend lines and open and close prices. You will see the previous close, year-to-date return of almost 20%. Its expense ratio, how much you'll pay to buy into that fund, what is the category, what does it invest in, and we'll look into this a little bit more, but it is a large blend, so it holds a lot of other stocks across all industries and sectors. Yahoo partners with Morningstar, so you'll see the rating here as well, and you will see its assets, the beta, so it's pretty stable at around 1.01, and the yield with the last dividend at around 1 point. If you scroll down, you will see an overview of the mutual fund. And in this case, it'll describe to you what it invests in. So this fund employs an indexing investment approach to track the performance of the index, and it represents approximately 100% of the investable US stock market and includes large, mid, small, and micro cap stocks. It holds a broadly diversified collection of securities. It's a large blend and it's been here for a while since N1, which you can see why it's also very popular. Let's head to profile because I want to just focus on its expenses. So here you will see its expense ratio. When you look at what you're investing in, you want to see how much you're paying for someone to manage that fund. Now, index funds typically have a lower expense ratio because they're using an existing index to create a fund like that. And so for this case, the expense ratio is 0.04%. Now, when you are looking at your retirement plans, maybe you're investing at work and you see some of these mutual fund options, you also want to look at the expense ratios because higher the expense ratio, the more of your money will go to pay to manage that fund. So instead of that being invested for you, you're paying a company instead that money. So you want to look out for that. You still want the performance. You still want to make sure you have a diversification within your portfolio. Let's scroll down to see the Morningstar style box. This particular fund is called a large blend because it is a fairly large fund, which has all of the available US investable securities. And it's also a blend because it has many companies that you can invest in for growth as well as for value. So the mix is in there. Now, I want to head to holdings because I also want you to see what it invests in. Now, I mentioned that index funds normally invest across all US securities that's available for investments, but it does skew a little bit to certain holdings and a little bit into certain sector weightings. This is an overview of the top holdings of VTSAX. 30% of its total assets are in Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, Alphabet, the other Alphabet, Berkshire, Broadcom, Eli Lilly. So you will notice that it leans heavily into technology and financial services. So if these two experience some kind of volatility, you will see that as well. And let's also scroll down that for this portfolio, this invests stocks, in this case, invested in all available US securities that it can be invested in. Now, I am pointing this out because we are also going to look at the stock chart of a target date fund, a mutual fund that's specific for a target date for retirement. So you can see the portfolio comp and how that differs. Now let's look into purchase info. Now this is a mutual fund, so it has a fairly high minimum initial investment of $3,000. So you would have to have this money to start investing in it, but there are available options that also invest the same way that you can get with a lower minimum investment, or you can also buy an ETF, which will allow you a fraction of a share of a fund so that you don't have to wait until you have $3,000 to invest. You can start investing a small portion and buy shares of a fund or a stock until you get the full amount. So this is also where you can find this particular Vanguard stock. So you'll see all of these companies. Some of these will be familiar to you. Maybe this is where your 401k is being held. Maybe this is what your company uses to hold retirement accounts. So you know that this fund is accessible to all of these companies. Now, if you do go directly to Vanguard, you won't have to most likely pay some of their extra fees that these other companies will charge you. See if that's an option if you want to just go directly to Vanguard brokerage to buy. Next up, I want to show you the stock chart for a retirement fund. So this is the Vanguard Target Retirement Fund 2045 VTIVX. So you will see similar information, its closing price, year-to-date return, previous close, expense ratio, and so forth. Now, here is how this fund differs. So if you look at the overview, very similar strategy, but here's how these target date funds work. It's designed for investors planning to retire and leave the workforce in or within a few years of 2045, the target year. The fund's asset allocation will become more conservative over time, meaning that the percentage of assets allocated to stocks will decrease, while the percentage of its assets allocated to bonds will increase. So what you will see in the composition of this particular fund is a separation of stocks and bonds. Let's head to holdings to see what that looks like. I'm going to go scroll down further first because I want you to look at it to see the overall portfolio composition here. So we have stocks at 82% and bonds at 16.05%. So it's basically around like an 80-16 split. And I want you to keep that number in mind because then I'm going to show you a target date fund that's a little bit closer to date and you'll see the difference in the portfolio composition. So it's 82-16. And if you scroll up, we'll also see what it holds. Now, the top 4 holdings in this case is Vanguard Total Stock Market, the Total Stock International Index, the bond market, and the international bond market. So you will see that this fund also holds other funds. So 4 funds in this particular fund. And it's all, again, Vanguard, and it's all separating between stocks and bonds, with it 82% being stocks. So this was the Target Retirement of 2045 fund. And again, keep in mind 82-16 for stocks and bonds, more stocks. I'm going to also now open up one for 2025. So this is for someone that's going to be retiring or close to retiring for 2025. So that's a big difference. Same information, and it is for investors planning to retire and leave the workforce in or within a few years of 2025, the target year. So now let's go to its holdings to see the difference. If we go down, its portfolio composition, stocks at around 50%, bonds at now 47%. So you'll notice that the target date fund for this particular one for 2025 has increased its bond allocation. This is where you want to be because if at some point there is a lot of volatility in the stock market and you're trying to withdraw from your investment account and that is at a lower price, you're not going to have any money left. So the point of the target date fund is for you to shift to a more conservative investment the closer you are to withdrawing this money. So that's your composition. And then also have our holdings. Very similar to the Target Retirement Fund of 2045. Same Vanguard Total Stock Market, Total Bond, Total International Bond. And now we have a short-term inflation protected security. So now it wants to hold certain assets that is not going to be volatile, that will still protect a little bit of your money when the time comes for you to withdraw. I hope you found this video helpful. Please give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend. It's always nice to have someone that you can have a conversation with about investing, especially since many of us don't talk about it or don't know enough about it. So don't be shy, share it with a friend and ask them, what are your thoughts on this? Before you go, I want you to check out these 2 videos to help with your investing knowledge. One is an in-depth look at target date funds, and the second is a video on how to automate your money so you can automate your investing so you don't have to worry about it and it runs in the background. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.